Why troops secretly relate to SpongeBob's I'm a Goofy Goober spiral. Well, one, military shit aside, I love SpongeBob. I grew up on that cartoon. It happens about 80 minutes into the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. SpongeBob, denied a promotion and humiliated in front of his co-workers, wanders into the Goofy Goober ice cream party boat. He proceeds to spiral. After a binge of sundaes and shame, he stumbles on stage, belting out a shredded guitar solo rendition of I'm a Goofy Goober rock in front of a confused crowd. There's glitter, there's foam, there's a full throttle emotional release. And if you spent any amount of time in uniform, you've likely seen that clip. I mean, I watched this before I joined the service, but... Or at least a meme of it, shared with eerie sincerity. Maybe you laughed, perhaps you rolled your eyes, but maybe, just maybe, it hit a little too close to home. For all its absurdity, SpongeBob's Goofy Goober breakdown has become an unlikely touchstone in military circles, particularly among those who know what it feels like to carry more than they're allowed to say. It's the screaming catharsis that never happens in a formation. The ridiculous meltdown captures the quiet, internal ones that don't make it into war movies. Every service member who's ever needed to cry and didn't, who's ever felt out of place in their own civilian life, and who's ever tried to joke their way through the pain that had no good language. SpongeBob just says it louder. Dude, now that I'm thinking about it, I never actually thought of it that way. That kind of fits, man, really. That is very relatable now that I'm looking at it under that lens. Military culture breeds stoicism. You learn quickly not to complain, hesitate, or show weakness. And when the mission ends and the uniform comes off, all that armor doesn't just evaporate. It calcifies. You carry it home to your relationships, jobs, and silence. SpongeBob, in contrast, is absurdly open. He is the emotional inverse of everything military training drills into you. He's hopeful, he's naive, he wears his feelings on his sleeves, and when those sleeves get dirty, he cries about it in a room full of strangers. And that's the point. Strangely, that scene feels honest. Honest about what it feels like when you've been holding it together for too long. Honest about what happens when the ridiculousness finally outweighs the rules. SpongeBob's meltdown is a stand-in for the veteran who doesn't drink to party, but to forget. It's the laugh before you snap moment familiar to anyone who's ever been fine until they weren't. The song I'm a Goofy Goober isn't just silly, it's defiant. When SpongeBob shouts, I'm a kid, you say? When you say, I'm a kid, I say it again. He's rejecting the labels people assign to him. He's rejecting the structure. He's saying, I'm still me, even if I don't fit what you think I should be. Jesus Christ. That's some of the deepest shit I've read in a fucking minute. That hits hard when you've gone from commanding missions to being told to use the kiosk at the DMV. When you've gone from decision-making in high-pressure scenarios to being passed over for jobs because you don't have corporate experience. When you've buried friends, you get to ask to tone it down in staff meetings. It's easy to laugh at SpongeBob's dramatics, but a lot of veterans would tell you it's the closest thing to what their emotional breakdown might look like if they ever let themselves have one. The Goofy Goober scene has taken on mythic proportions in online veteran communities. Bro, I'm just now looking at it like this, man, because no one ever put me onto this when I was in the service. I'm just now learning about this concept now. This whole idea, this whole correlation. Good lord. When you put it into perspective. On Reddit, our veterans memes show SpongeBob under the Goofy Goober spotlight with captions like, when the VA asks if you're experiencing any emotional distress, or me pretending I'm fine at my civilian job after 12 years of war crimes and energy training. I saw a meme once. It was a picture of a soldier, right? And bro, he looked fucking cool, man. Badass helmet, and like his vest looks sleek. His weapon, it was an M4 fully decked out, cool ass looking elbow pads and knee pads and shit like that. And the caption said, PTSD is knowing that you will never be this badass ever again. Really? So you leave the service after, I don't know, man, doing some pretty awesome shit, and the rest of your life will never reach that high ever again. For some of us, I can't speak for all of us, but you go to combat and you experience something profound and something It's awful, but something incredible, something a lot of people don't get to experience. It's a very unique experience. You experience that, and that's like one of the highest feelings you're ever gonna have. And then you leave the service and you go back to the civilian world, and nothing will ever top those moments. Nothing will ever top that experience. Nothing will ever top that, you know. Or maybe you don't. I don't know. I can fucking relate, man. It's not hard to see why I've never heard of this meme before, bro. How? And like, I'm almost perpetually online. Like, it's not hard to see why the SpongeBob meme universe appeals to service members broadly. I love SpongeBob too. In the past year, I've watched SpongeBob. Just old episodes. Not really some of the newer stuff. I don't really care. I go back to like just the OG stuff that I watched as a child. The military is built on contradiction, total professionalism, and constant gallows humor, life-threatening stakes, and childish barracks antics. Yeah. SpongeBob is the unofficial saint of that contradiction. 1 minute making fart jokes, the next playing a heartbroken solo to a room that doesn't get it. The timing of the movie's release is essential too. The SpongeBob SquarePants movie, which I think I saw in theaters because I love SpongeBob, came out in 2004. As many of today's mid-career veterans were deploying to Iraq and Afghanistan. It was there. It was the movie their younger siblings watched, or the one they downloaded on iPods during deployment downtime. It became part of their cultural wallpaper. Bro, this is so eye-opening. But more than nostalgia, it's about what wasn't allowed back then. Mental health wasn't openly discussed. Admitting to a struggle risked being pulled from the line, labeled weak and isolated. SpongeBob, that was true. And at one point, if you went to go see mental health, I think that straight up disqualified you from a top secret clearance. Back in the day, I can remember correctly. At least when I was in, I think that was the case. That's what I was told by one of my NCOs. SpongeBob was the safe way to say what couldn't be said. He still is. This isn't to say the Goofy Goober moment is the pinnacle of cinematic expression of trauma. It's not. It's a children's movie with a peanut guitar solo. But it's a reminder that catharsis can be ridiculous. The breaking point doesn't always resemble a dark, brooding Oscar monologue. Sometimes it looks like a sponge screaming rock lyrics while crying over ice cream. Mental breakdowns don't... That's such a perfect way to say it. Mental breakdowns don't always look picture perfect like they do in the movies. Sometimes it's more nuanced. Sometimes it's more deep. Sometimes it's more complicated. That's what makes it stick. Under the humor, movies like My Dead Friend Zoe, Thank You for Your Service, and American Sniper explore PTSD through... I haven't seen Thank You for Your Service. What was that one movie with Miles Teller, I believe? I still haven't seen that. And My Dead Friend Zoe, I'm just now learning about that film. I have seen American Sniper. I've only watched it once. I don't want to watch it twice. Not because I don't like it, but because sometimes movies like that are just one time is enough for me. American Sniper explore PTSD through dramatic, tightly controlled lens. But SpongeBob, he just lets go. And that, ironically, is what a lot of service members were trained never to do. The military tells you how to go to war. It doesn't tell you how to come home, bro. I've said that so many times. They're very, very fast to send you to combat, but they're very, very slow to help you for the things that the combat did to you. SpongeBob does both by screaming, falling apart, and then picking up his ridiculous guitar and saving the day anyway. Maybe that's why, when the lights are low and the volume is cranked, even the toughest veteran might admit, yeah, I'm a Goofy Goober too. Bro, I'm actually so glad I read this. This was such a good article. I saw it in myself, and I saw it in other soldiers too, man. There was just some of them. It's hard to let go. Sometimes that's the hardest part. Is letting go. You gotta let go. Easier said than done. And there's probably even a veteran right now saying, fuck you for telling me to do that. Oh, I get it. I get it. Right? How dare you fucking tell me how to feel? You gotta let go, dude. You have to let go of that stuff. Eventually. It may take you 5 minutes. You may be like a king of compartmentalization. It may take you 5 years. But eventually, Take my advice, man. Let it go. I've been there. Just stuck in your own head. Get like woulda, coulda, shoulda. Survivor's regret. All this stuff. Things you should have done. Things you regret doing. You gotta let it go. Because if not, it'll drive you fucking crazy. And we're the last types of people that should be going crazy. Cashier at Piggly Wiggly goes crazy. That's okay. The most she'll do is she'll just destroy the dairy section on her way out. But when soldiers lose it, they destroy more than just produce, man. So, for your own sanity, for the safety of others around us, let it go.